G'day folks, Wren here, and it is time for May's Demon Trap. So it's time again for another TBR, which I'm mildly not loving. So April was hard. On the basis of that, and considering what people were saying in my last Demon Trap, I should take it easier on myself, so I will. I'm going to take advantage of that this month. I am still taking a punishment, but I'm just like lessening it. I am still pretty impressed with the amount of books I got read in April, especially like for my TBR games. But you know, none of them were completed. Going into May, my goal is kind of to do a lot of catch up, and by that I mean catch up on all of those lists that I said I would do at the beginning of the year. Also catch up on some books that I might have read a few chapters of and then like did like a soft DNF. Really gonna try and complete things in May. And again, just trying to take it easier on myself. I'm not partaking in any readathons per se, but I am doing the final book support group 4-day readathon later in May. And I'm going to be doing a whole thing for that. There will hopefully be 4 days of sprints if I can make sure my head is good on those days. We'll see. So I'll be having a lot of time to read, and I just taking things slower. So not putting huge amounts of books on my TBRs. So before we get into my May Demon Trap, let's go back a bit and see how I did in April. So the demons that I had in the trap for April were Lilith and Ruby. So Lilith's prompt was a middle grade and Ruby's prompt was a color in the title. Now here is where my still a punishment but lesser comes in. So for Lilith's book, I decided to choose small spaces and I DNF'd that. And for Ruby, I was going to read Gold of the Gods and I didn't start that. So what I'm going to do is I'm saying goodbye to Lilith because I did DNF the book. I only DNF'd Small Spaces because that was the audiobook I was trying to listen to during the worst of my head issues, and that was the one that I couldn't understand any sentence. Apparently I got 5 chapters in and nothing had made sense, scarily. So I have soft DNF'd that. I do want to read it, but I need to take a bit of time away from that book because I'm still just associating it with one of the scariest moments of my life. So it's a soft DNF, but because I did try and start it, I'm gonna let Lilith go. She can go back to hell, but she'll come out again soon. But because I didn't even try and start Ruby's book, Ruby's gonna stay in the Demon Trap. So for May, instead of having 3 demons, which I technically kind of should, I'm only gonna have 2. That's about all I'm gonna allow myself to make things easier for me. So Ruby will be sticking around for May, but Lilith won't. Then the medium that was used was spray paint, and the prompt for that is colourful, and I chose My Hero Academia Volume 12. Now I did read that and I gave it 4 stars. And the spray paint was also combined with the Next In series, so obviously that got done as well. Then the person I had was Charlie, and the prompt for her was LGBTQIA plus femme. And for that, I read My Dearest Darkest, and I gave that 4 stars. Then the placement I had was Ceiling, so that is above a 4 star. And I combined that with Meant to Read Last Year. So the book I chose for that was Station 11. I am currently like 50% of the way through that, and I'm gonna try and finish it before the end of April. So I'm counting that as done. Then the last prompt I had was Seasonal, and for that I picked Such Pretty Flowers, but I ended up DNFing this. Blame the people on my sprints for telling me to. I'm kidding. Yeah, I DNF'd this. It wasn't as exciting in the first 20% or something that I read. Wasn't feeling it, so I DNF'd it. Then the 2 non-reading prompts I had were sprints, which I did a few sprints of my own on my own channel, but I was also in Neva's sprints for her 24-hour reading sprints. And then my other non-reading prompt was try something new, and I haven't yet, unless you count like going to the ER or something new, which like I'd rather not. Yeah, I haven't done something new and I'm not going to try in the next couple days, so that is also not complete, but that doesn't matter because we're already having Ruby sticking around. Now that that's done, let's get into May's demon trap. Okay, so because I did not finish my April demon trap, we'll keep Ruby in there, and then we will pick our other demon for this month. New demon. Ooh, it's Lucifer. Okay, a book I keep putting off. You know, there's a lot of those. So, we already had Ruby in the trap, and her prompt is colour in the title. And for this, I decided to go with Black Internet Effect by Siobhan Charles. This is one of the pocket change collections from Penguin, and I read one of these in April and I really loved it, so now I just want to collect all of them and read them. And thank you so much to Paige for buying this for me. Adore you, you little chaos demon. And I love that, like, she signed it as your chaos demon. Adorable. So in Black Internet Effect, technology executive, musician and activist Siobhan Charles encourages readers to forge their own paths as she shares her journey of the tech world's most influential spaces, from Google to Twitter and beyond. Often the only black woman in the room, Charles offers words of wisdom and guidance to help the next generation, specifically women of colour, find their lanes and exceed them. So that sounds really cool, very empowering, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And then the next demon we got was Lucifer, which the prompt for Lucifer is keep putting off. Just like, look at him in his cage. This Lucifer was great. So for keep putting off, I honestly had a lot I could choose from, but I'm going to go with Iron Widow by Ziran J. Zhao. Now you can see there's already a bookmark in this. I was meant to read this in January with Sasha, but we both were just like, it's not the right time for this. So we stopped and I haven't picked it up since. So I got halfway through a chapter. I got to page 52 in January and, you know, it's now May. The reason I was not super enjoying this was because I thought it would be like every other YA where our main character falls in love with the person she's supposed to assassinate. Because that's what that was feeling like. And I put it off. I was like, I don't want to read that. But then Max saw that I still hadn't finished it. He assured me that that is not what happens, that she does murder the person she's supposed to murder and falls in love with other people. So I was like, okay, I will read this then. But yeah, this is about mechas and it's queer, I think it's polyamorous, and she's like taking revenge for her sister that died. And I'm assuming gonna try and like shut down the establishment of this. Not sure, but it sounds amazing and I'm very keen to read it because everyone loves it. Alright, now let's pick who is going to put Ruby and Lucifer in the demon trap. Okay. It's Bobby! Love Bobby. So Bobby's prompt is an adult main character. Okay, Bobby can go down here. And then the person that is going to be making this demon trap was Bobby Singer, and his prompt is adult main character. Look at him. Isn't he adorable? Oh, sorry, Chocolate, not as adorable as you. So luckily I was able to combine Bobby's prompt with set outside America. So I need an adult main character that is not set in America. So for this I chose Claimed by the Orc Prince by Lionel Hart. I started this in March and I got 27% of the way through. I was enjoying it and then the month ended. So I stopped reading. So I would really like to finish this one because it's queer, it's a fantasy romance, it's relatively short, and I was enjoying it. So this is about a elf and an orc having to marry because they're trying to make a peace treaty with each other's clans. And what I read of it so far, we've just had the wedding and our elf is very like headstrong, knows what to do, is a bit more confident, and then our orc is just sweet and like unsure and shy, and it's kind of adorable. And so eventually they're gonna fall in love, I assume, because yeah, it's an arranged marriage type situation, but it was really well written too and I'm looking forward to continuing that one. Alright, where is Bobby going to place his demon trap? Let's go for this one. The Floor, which is under a 3.45 star rating. I think I may have changed this to just under 3.5 because it's hard sometimes. Alright, so the floor prompt is going to go here. And then we got our placement card, and for that one I got Floor, which is a book under 3.45 star rating. I sometimes think that this should be 3.5 stars, so I was going off of that. Luckily I didn't need to, because there was a surprising book that was at the very bottom of my list. So the book I chose for this is Lady Justice by Neil Gaiman, and this is volume 1. How is this so low? Do you want to know what rating this is? 2.65. That's so low. Like, I'm shocked, because this sounds awesome. Lady Justice, taking revenge. Yeah, so when an innocent woman is horribly wronged, she can be possessed by a spirit of justice that will empower her to seek the justice she deserves by any means possible. That sounds good. And so this is a, oh my god, back the kid, it looks like he has a toothless. I want it. So yeah, this is a comic book by Neil Gaiman, and I have wanted to read more Neil Gaiman, especially because Max is currently obsessed with Sandman, and so I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'll check out some other of Neil Gaiman's comics. So here we are. Oh, this looks cool. I'm very interested in this, and really interested to find out why it's 2.65. Okay, and then the medium that Bobby is going to use to put a demon trap on the floor to trap Ruby and Lucifer is chalk. So we've got to do a colour wheel, which is always fun. Okay, colour wheel, let's just stack them all up next to each other this month. So that's going to go there. Next up was the material that we're going to use to draw this demon trap. And for that I got chalk, which is a colour wheel. It's always fun to have like a colour wheel prompt in anything. It's just, you know, it's fun. And then I was able to combine that with library. So I have to pick a colour and then find a book in my library that I want to read. I do have a huge pile next to me of books that I already have out from the library. They're all but like one or two are comics and manga. So if one of those fits, that's great. I don't have to go searching through my library. Otherwise, I can just scroll on my Libby app to see what audiobooks are available. Let's get a spinner wheel up here. Alright, here is a colour wheel. What's the spin? Teal? Okay, let's see what is available here. That's not teal. Okay, this is an option. I think that's green. Oh no. This is an option. Which of these is more teal? Okay, so I'm thinking the teal bit is like this little section. Which that kind of works. What about this? Is this too light to be a teal? I mean, it is kind of too light. And I'd honestly call it more of a mint than a teal. So we're gonna go with What I Mean When I Say I'm Autistic, Unpuzzling a Life on the Autism Spectrum by Annie Kotowicz. In this intimate and insightful mix of memoir and manifesto, Annie Kotowicz invites you inside the mind of an autistic woman sharing the trials and triumphs of a life before and after diagnosis. So it sounds really interesting, and as an autistic person I always really like reading anything about autism, because I like knowing about myself. Alright, now it's time to fill in these cards. Alright, first one. There we go, seasonal. So the season I'm going into is winter. Yeah, I'm kind of worried that I won't be able to find anything like that, so we're going to put seasonal up there. So the next prompt that we got was seasonal, and I am currently going into winter, so I tried to look for winter vibes, and for some reason this feels like winter vibes to me. So that is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This is kind of it's not like a time travel thing, but it's basically a woman dies and then she goes to the library, I guess, and then she's able to look at her life and see what would have happened if she made different decisions. Which that sounds really interesting, and I'm so intrigued by the concept of this that I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I also just like need to read it because I've kept putting it on TBRs and then not reading it. So, need to do this one. Alright, next. Ooh, it's death. Okay, cook a new recipe. That's cool, I can do that. So I'm going to put this one in the middle of those two. Right, next. Okay. A library book. I can definitely do a library book. I'm going to actually combine library book with color wheel, because I think that should be doable. Right, next. Set outside America. I could probably combine that with something. Okay, I'm gonna combine this with Bobby's adult main character prompt, because I think it's really hard to combine anything with the floor prompt. So, right, we need an adult MC set outside America. Alright, and to fill in our very last glyph, it's gonna be... Oh, I really want a non-reading prompt. Catch up with friends. Hells yes. So good, because I'm actually going to a friend's wedding, so that's awesome. And then we got 2 non-reading prompts, which is lovely. So, first one we got was cook a new recipe, and just like, look at Death. Isn't he adorable? We love Death on this channel. So, cook a new recipe. I haven't really cooked in April at all because of all my health issues. And so because I'm now potentially on the mend, I would really like to start cooking again. I don't know what I'm gonna cook, but I'll try something. If you know any good vegetarian, gluten-free recipes, let me know, because I might need some. And then the last card that we got for this May Demon Trap was to catch up with friends. And like, look at them. Bobby and Rufus. Best of buds. These are literally the kind of friends where it's like, I'll hide a body for you, because they do. In the show, Bobby hides a body for Rufus, and like, that's just hilarious. I am actually really glad this is happening, because I do have some things in May where I will be seeing some of my friends. The main one is in the first week of May. One of my friends is getting married. But yes, I will be catching up with friends that way. Alright, so this is going to be my demon trap for the month of May, including Claimed by the Orc Prince. So that's actually a pretty good TBR, I would say. Like, I have a really tiny book that I'll get done in an hour maybe, and we've got a comic here which I can get through pretty simply. Have another really short book which is good, and I know I have an audio for the Midnight Library, so that works. And I'm already partway through Claimed by the Orc Prince and 50 pages into Iron Widow, so I think this is kind of taking it easy on myself. So just like every month, what was your favourite card this month? I mean, I did love Lucifer in his cage. It's a fun time. But like, I really love Death. Death was just the biggest, baddest. And like, I do love Billy Death. There's just something about OG Death that was just sass. Sass and food. But I mean, Bobby and Rufus made me nearly tear up. So I think I have to go with Bobby and Rufus for my favourite card this month. Yeah, let me know down below what was your favourite card. And what are you reading in May? Are you taking it easy on yourself? I'm just gonna put like a huge statement of like, everyone take care of yourself in May. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!